All right, first of all, Paul, thank you for visiting with us today. I have to start, I was just blown away by him, but I was just curious, way back at the beginning, why was Kit your guy?
My wife turned me on to Game of Thrones. I had missed the first 2 seasons. I'd been working, and Mila said, you have to watch Game of Thrones. It's a great show. So I watched the show. I think I watched the first 2 seasons in 48 hours. And it's a great cast, great cast. But for me, Kit really stood out. You know, the bastard son of Sean Bean. I mean, and I love Sean Bean.
All right.
And Kit, like, I thought, wow, this guy's a movie star waiting to happen. So I was very, very excited to work with him.
Were you always fascinated with Pompeii and Roman history, and kind of what was it about the story that kind of compelled you, if you were?
Well, I grew up in the north of England where Hadrian's Wall is.
Right.
So Romans were a big part of my childhood. And then Pompeii, you know, a city that was destroyed by a volcano and then lost in time, buried for almost 2,000 years, and then rediscovered. I mean, that's a fantastic story. And the more I dug into the story, the more I realized that no one had really told the story correctly before. You know, people think it was just a volcano, but actually Pompeii in a 24-hour period was hit not just with a volcanic eruption, but also with a giant earthquake and a tsunami. So it's kind of like, it's like the opportunity to make 3 movies in one.
Right.
You get to make the earthquake movie, the volcano movie, and the tidal wave movie. And a kind of love story intertwined with it. So, you know, it's really rich subject matter for a film. And I think for the thing that really fascinated me about Pompeii were the figures. You know, you see these figures frozen in time. You see them at the moment of their death. And you see how people met their end. You know, whether they're running away, whether they're cowering in terror, or whether, like the lovers, who are 2 of the most famous figures, they're kind of intertwined looking at one another. And it's like, you ask yourself the question, it's how would I meet my end? If I knew I was dying, how would I meet that end? I read online when we first released the poster, somebody posted, stop kissing and run away. But it's like, you can't run away from something. When the volcano finally exploded, there was a wall of superheated rock. It was so hot it became gas, traveling at 350 miles an hour. So people knew they were going, they couldn't get away. And how they chose to meet their end I found fascinating, and that became the inspiration for the whole movie.
And you're no stranger to special effects, but yet this has some unique challenges. I mean, what kind of did you feel like you learned about yourself in that arena accomplishing this?
You look at the movie, and I think you would normally assume that a movie like this has maybe 1,500 visual effects shots in it. The movie actually only has 500 visual effects shots in it. And one of the things we did was we tried to shoot as much practical as possible and capture it in camera.
Amazing.
So, which I think lends to the reality of the disaster. You really feel like you're immersed in this world because we built it. You know, we built a huge chunk of the Colosseum, we built a Pompeian street, we built all the big interiors. You know, we tried, and they're all based on reality as well. They're based on, you know, what the real villas that you can go and walk into and see in Pompeii right now. So we tried to immerse the audience in the reality of it and reduce the number of visual effects shots. And that gave us 2 advantages. One is nothing's better than real, you know, and you avoid having to shoot people against green screen a lot of the time. And then because we had a reduced number of visual effects shots, the ones we did, we could really handcraft. You know, we weren't spreading ourselves thin and trying to deliver like the best possible visual effects in the last third of the movie.